Hey there, and welcome to Inside Butler Football. I'm your host, JoJo Gentry. The Butler football team is at a four-way tie for first in the PFL after losing to University of San Diego last Saturday, 42-14. We'll be joined by Butler football coaches Joe Cheshire and Keenan Smith to talk about last week's game and to take a look at the games ahead. Stay with us on Inside Butler Football. Coach Cheshire, San Diego scored touchdowns on its first three possessions and then scored 35 points in the first half, not even allowing Butler to score until the second quarter. So what did the defense fail to do to keep the San Diego offense in check?
Well, we always talk about a fast start with our guys and getting off on the right foot, and we really didn't. For the first game, we've done a pretty good job up until the San Diego game in PFL play of getting a fast start in our first couple of possessions, of getting off the field. And, our goal always is just to get the ball to our offense. That's kind of what our mantra's been. And, we didn't do a very good job the first series. We had a penalty that extended a drive, and it's really a culmination of some mental errors, and our execution just wasn't quite where we needed it. And they're a very good football team. And when your execution isn't there and you make some mental mistakes, the result is usually not in your favor, and that's kind of what happened with them. They're a very good offense. They're a very balanced offense, and they caught us on a day where we, ourselves weren't as sharp execution-wise as we've been in the first, 4 games up until that point in PFL play.
And you were talking about making some mental mistakes. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we had a third down opportunity the first series. We get a penalty on a late hit on a quarterback, which, is what you can debate the call. You can go back and make excuses, but it was a penalty. They called it, and that extended a drive, which then later turned into points. And, those are some of the things that you can't do. We talk about it as a defense. Those are critical errors. A third down play where you make a mistake like that and cause a penalty that extends a drive is a critical error for us. And if you're going to have a ton of critical errors, which we had some critical errors in bad situational times, that's the result. And, it's never good, but, you have to live with it. And, then again, the next possession, we didn't do a good job of, saying, hey, okay, they got one, let's limit it. And, they had some big plays, and it just kind of snowballed from there. We just really couldn't stick our foot in the ground and make a stand and get them off the field in time.
And Coach Smith, the Butler offense really didn't do too bad with 375 yards, but weren't really able to score touchdowns. So why did the Bulldogs struggle to get to the end zone?
It's the same thing that Coach Cheshire talks about. We tell them the same thing every week. You guys got to start fast. We want to get momentum. Defense has been doing a great job getting us the ball back this year. And we knew going into it that San Diego had a good offense, so no matter what their offense did, we were going to have to answer back and respond, and we just didn't do a good job with that. They scored first. We came out, had like an 8-play drive, and just didn't make plays when we needed to make them. We didn't convert on a couple third downs. One that rings in my mind is one of the receivers slipped, and had he stayed on his feet, we might have been able to convert the third down and keep the drive going, and that would have kept our defense off the field, allowed them to rest a little bit longer. But we just weren't able to make those plays at the critical time, so that's part of the reason why we didn't get going until later in the second quarter.
So what can a team learn coming off of a loss like this? Coach Cheshire, we'll start with you.
Well, I think the bottom line, what you got to take away is you have to be at your best every week in this league, or else you're going to get beat. The great teams in this league went on the road, and it's a challenge, and there's a lot of factors that go into that. But if you're not at your best, bottom line, no matter who you're playing, I don't care what team you're playing in this league. If you make mental mistakes, you make critical errors, you're going to get beat, and you're going to get beat soundly. So I think what we can take away from that is, we can't have that. Your margin of error, especially on the road, is very small. You can't make those mistakes and expect to win. So, for us on defense, I know that's what we took away from it is the critical errors, the mistakes, and then just being ready to play emotionally and physically. That has to happen every week. You can't, go ebbs and flows throughout the season. You have to be at a high level every week.
We talked to him about being emotionally ready to go every game from the very, very start, fast start, no matter who you're playing, whether it's, a team that's in last place in the league, whether it's a team that's in first place in the league, it doesn't matter. You have to be ready to go from the very first snap. And if you're not, things like what happened on Saturday are going to happen, especially when you play a really good team like San Diego. They keep lining up, they make plays over and over and over, and they wait for you to make a mistake. So if you're not ready to go, then that's what's going to happen, and you're going to have the outcome that you had. So I think we'll be good going into this week. Guys, they'll learn from it, and like we'll keep preaching it to them that fast start, emotionally ready to go, and physically prepared.
And I also noticed that Butler didn't go for any fourth down conversions. What prevented the Butler team from feeling confident about their field position to try to score on a fourth down?
It's complementary football. We didn't want, because their offense was so explosive early on in the game, we didn't want to put our defense in a bad spot. We'd rather have them drive the length of the field than go for it on fourth and short on our own 40 or even 50-yard line and give them an easier chance to, a shorter field to get in there and score. Now, we have every confidence in our defense that they'll make the stop, but just the percentages of them having to score, having a long field, they're a lot higher, the closer you are to the end zone. So it was just a decision that complementary football, we rely on our special teams heavily. We said our special teams has to do great, flip the field, make them drive the length of the field, and we'll have to get some stops on defense and, punt return, kickoff return. We'll have to give the offense short fields every once in a while. So that's just how it played out.
Okay, well, let's take a look at a few highlights. So the first highlight is a touchdown by senior quarterback Matt Lancaster to end the first half. He's able to avoid multiple defenders and get into the end zone. So how crucial is it to have a quarterback with his athleticism?
With Matt, it's he's a special player. There's every school in this conference has a quarterback, but we're very fortunate to have him. The type of offense that we run and the ability that he has to make plays with not just his arm, but with his feet. He can make people miss in space, and he's a lot bigger than people give him credit for, so he can take more hits than most quarterbacks can. So, but in this play, I mean, he made two guys miss, made a great read on the edge, and dove in the end zone. So, I mean, without his athletic ability to make these guys miss there, and we might be second down on the 4 and having to think about another play. But because Matt's so athletic and so smart and just has like that on-field savvy about himself, that he was able to get in the end zone.
And Coach Smith, the next highlight is for you as well. This is a highlight. This highlight is a pass from Matt Lancaster to senior wide receiver Brennan Shannon coming out of the half. What made this play successful?
Honestly, this is probably a play that is just two guys that have been working together for a while. Brendan and Matt were here all summer. They were throwing to each other all summer. They built up a couple years worth of a relationship, throwing the ball to each other. And really, this is just it's a design play, and they made a great read, and they just went out there and basically played elementary schoolyard football. Brendan found a hole in the defense, and Matt just put it on him when he could. Brendan had an option of going inside or outside. He chose inside, and Matt knew he was going to be there and trusted that he was going to be there and put it on him.
And Coach Cheshire, the last highlight is a sack by Jeremy Stevens on third down to force a punt. It seemed that their quarterback didn't know where to go with the ball when Stevens came around and was able to get the sack. So what did the defense do right in order to get this sack?
Well, it's a product of everybody. I mean, you talk about good pass rush lanes by the rest of Jeremy's, buddies up there on the D-line, and they do a nice job of staying in their rush lanes and eliminating a possible escape from the quarterback. And then in the back half, you have to cover it up to give them time to get there and to get to the quarterback. And Jeremy does a nice job of just working and continuing to work in order to get to the quarterback, whereas his first couple moves didn't work. He kind of doubled back and made a counter move that got home. And I think, by the guys staying in their pass rush lanes, they force the quarterback to stay in the pocket. He's a guy that likes to get out of the pocket and make some things happen in space. And those guys doing a good job in conjunction with the secondary kind of covering up to give them time, gives you the whole picture. And Jeremy's a tremendous player. I mean, he's going to keep working. He's a relentless competitor, so he's going to keep working until he gets home. So, that's kind of a total effort there.
Well, thank you very much for your input from both of you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Get to Know Your Bulldogs. We bring in upperclassmen to talk about their time within the Butler football program. This week we have senior defensive back Jimmy Schwabe. So Jimmy, thank you so much for coming on Inside Butler Football today.
Sure, thanks for having me.
So you're from Downers Grove, Illinois. Tell us a little bit about your background growing up.
Okay, well, Downers Grove is a western suburb of Chicago, so it's a great little community. There's 2 high schools there. I went to Downers Grove South High School, so we have a lot of rivalries there. But great little town here. I grew up, brother and a sister, older brother, younger sister, 2 parents, great family. So I was always around sports growing up, and our family's very competitive, so it kind of helped me get to football and where I am today.
So you attended Downers Grove South High School. Talk about your academic and athletic experiences like there.
Sure. Downers Grove South was a great place. I have great memories looking back on it now. I was involved in a lot there, but specifically sports. Football and basketball were my first 2 passions there. I played basketball for about 2 years and then really thought football was going to be the career path I wanted to pursue and bring it on to the next level. So I focused on football for the remaining 2 years. Did a lot with National Honor Society. Was involved with different academics there with student government. So I kind of wanted to be really well-rounded early on, but sports was a great environment there. It was a very competitive high school. We did real well. We always won conference championships. We got to the semifinals my senior year, so JoJo Ciancio was also on my team here at Butler, and he was there at Downers Grove South. So we had a great little run there, but it was a great opportunity for me to really kind of excel in both academics and athletics.
So when did you begin playing football?
Early on was about 5th grade. My mom really pushed to say, hey, don't let him play until he can at least go pads. So we spent a lot of time doing flag football just in the neighborhood. But around 5th grade was the first time I played organized sports. We went to Catholic grammar school and we had a team. So it was really kind of unique to get that experience early on. And I loved it ever since then. So, I played a lot of sports, but football was really the one for me.
And coming out of high school, what were your top college choices?
I spent a lot of time with the recruiting process in the Pioneer Football League. Butler and Dayton were my top 2 within the league. I wanted to stay Midwest locally. Some of the Ivy League schools started talking to me about taking opportunities there. I was real serious there for a while, but once kind of Butler came into the picture, it really kind of changed my attitude and where really I wanted to pursue athletically and academically at the college level.
So what separated Butler from all the other schools?
Butler's a great place, you know it as well. Just with academics, I really kind of wanted a school that would take me to the next level with the law program. And with the academics that Butler has, it's just really unique that allows me to excel on the field and off. And then really Coach Voris really had an opportunity to talk to us at Downers Grove South, and he really emphasizes the idea of a championship football program. And he really turned the program around. They won the championship the year before I came in there, and that really kind of motivated me and inspired me to take it here and come with Butler and take on that championship team and really kind of go from there. So it's been a great time as it is now, but that really pushed the things down.
So what has been your most memorable moment within the program?
Oh, there's so many. Butler's been a phenomenal experience, but really kind of last year, the Morehead State homecoming game, the opportunity to play in front of a homecoming crowd is just always so much fun. Just come back here and see the teams that played before you, and you really are playing for them. It's a family here, but it's a family atmosphere from all the teams that played before you. Ran down that same tunnel, was in the grind of the 2-a-days and everything. So just getting that opportunity to play in front of them, meet them after the game, and then obviously that Morehead State game was a great game coming back in the final seconds. So it really kind of was a capstone to our season and really kind of helped push us to the momentum we had last year. So just that great crowd and atmosphere.
So what are some things you'll take away from the program after you graduate?
Well, they always say football is a game of lessons and life lessons, that is, and Coach Voris harps it all the time and talking about a meaningful degree, but he teaches us not only to be a great football player and a great academic student, but teaches us to be a man. And I really learned how to be hardworking. We go through a lot of tough times. If anybody knows anything about football, there's 2-a-days, and unless you experience it on the team, you really don't understand it, and that's something that I'll take away from it, just hardworking even when times go bad. Adversity hits at all times during games and practices and everything, and that's something I'm going to take into real life as I go on through professional and personal battles that we have in life.
How would you describe the time that you've spent within the Butler football program?
Memorable, unforgettable, just the best time of my life. I came into Butler and thinking it'd be a great experience, and it's exceeded all expectations I could ever have. And something different about Butler is that it's really a family atmosphere. Coach Voris has a championship program. We have great academics here, but it really is a family at the end of the day. I can count on teammates on and off the field, and there's somebody that I look to whenever I need something. And it's a family away from my family at home, and I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to work with. We hang out in the summer together. We excel together on and off the field, and it's something that you're never going to forget, and you're going to take those life lessons on throughout your entire life.
And as you begin to exit the football program, what kinds of advice would you give to underclassmen and recruits who are looking at Butler?
Well, first I'd say come to Butler. I mean, it's a great experience, and I looked at a lot of schools, and every school has something different to offer, but we really emphasize the idea of being, academically sound, have a great football experience, and then being a part of a great family here. So it's just, come to Butler, and honestly, during the tough times when you're a young freshman and sophomore, it gets tough, and it teaches you to really respond to adversity and stick it out. It's something that football is a great experience in college, and then you'll never forget it for the rest of your life. So come to Butler, play football, have a great time, and really excel in your life.
Well, Jimmy, thank you so much for coming into the studio today.
Thank you so much.
Next up, the Dayton preview. So, Coach Cheshire, the Dogs will be traveling to Dayton, Ohio to face the Flyers this week, and they came off a huge win against Morehead State, winning 42-14, and they also this season defeated San Diego in double overtime. So, coming off a tough loss and facing against Dayton on the road, what do the Dogs have to do to win?
We have to be ourselves. You have to eliminate the errors like we talked about earlier, and you have to play mistake-free football because, again, you're on the road. You're on the road at a place that's very hard to play in, that against an opponent that's one of the top in the league. They do a great job on offense, and they're well coached. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a 60-minute game. So, again, you have to cut out the mistakes. You have to play with great effort. But most of all, you have to focus on yourself. You have to control the controllables we talk about all the time. We can't worry about where we're playing the game or what they're doing. We have to worry about executing at a high level on what we do. And, that's our main focus in and out of every game we play. And I think it doesn't really change, but you're going into a tough place against a very good football team and a team that's well coached that doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And offensively, I know on our side, trying to go against them is, they're going to play hard. They're going to be up for us. They're very good at home, and they're very good at what they do. And that's a challenge for us that our guys are going to have to embrace and get ready for.
So, Coach Cheshire, Dayton has a very explosive offense. In the PFL, they are third in rushing offense, and they have the league's second leading rusher. So what does the defense have to do in order to be successful against the run?
Well, we have to play assignment football, that's for sure. Like you said, you rattle off the stats, you start looking at them in a nutshell, and they're very good at what they do. They have very good skill players. Their guys up front are very well coached and understand their offense and their scheme, and they run what they do very well. And again, if you look at the PFL only stats and games against only PFL teams, they're number one in the league, I believe, in rushing and in a couple of those offensive categories. So they have a very good quarterback. Their running back's outstanding. And again, they have skill players on the outside that are very dangerous. So again, you're dealing with a very good offense and a total package team that you're going to have to defend 100 yards at all times. And again, they're very explosive. They've had a ton of big plays on film. And again, it's going to be a huge challenge for our guys, but again, the bottom line is you can't worry about all that. You have to do what we do well. We have to execute. We have to understand the game plan. We have to understand what we want to accomplish, and we have to have 11 guys on the same page, communicating, embracing a challenge, and then, playing at a high level and executing at a high level to give ourselves a chance to win.
And Coach Smith, Dayton has also been very well known for their stout defense. They're ranked second in total defense and second in passing defense in the PFL. So what does the offense need to do in order to score touchdowns?
It just goes back to what we preach about every day. Start fast, be ready to go out the gate. Dayton, like you said, they're number 2 in the conference, overall defense, pass defense, and on top of that, we're going there. Like Coach said, it's hard to play on the road. In the PFL, especially for Dayton, which is for us is like a rivalry game for us, and so for the offense, it's just being assignment sound, starting fast, and everyone doing their job. Don't worry about what the next guy's doing. Don't worry about what they're doing, because they're going to mix up what they do. They play zone, they play man, they bring pressure, they do a little bit of everything, and they're very good at it. So as long as we take care of ourselves and do what we need to do, then we should be okay.
Coach Smith, Coach Cheshire, thank you so much to the both of you for being in the studio today.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
That will do it for this week's episode of Inside Butler Football. I'm JoJo Gentry. Thanks for watching and have a great week, Bulldog fans.